Hello, my lovely peoples. I hope everyone's day is going well. Due to my horrid previous attempts to talk with no script, I have written one. Everyone celebrate. Today I am drawing the priest, a mysterious vigilante that is somehow always there when you need them, but despite wearing no face coverings, for some strange reason, no one can recall what they look like. This OC started as my priest persona for Mars and the Moonstorm. It was simply just a persona I took on when role-playing with Mars and Moon on Tumblr, with them being the Chaos Void deities. I have talked about them in another video. And me being the silly priest that chastises them when they cause chaos. I know. They are literally chaos deities, but still, when Mars creates a planetary eclipse and accidentally wipes out half the universe, it is mildly inconvenient. Recently, however, Mars, amazing writer, everyone go check them out. I've linked their AO3 in the description. But Mars started writing this fusion fic about our OCs and Diddy VAU, or Double Hearted, amazing comic. It is called All in One, All for the Same. It is so good so far. Basically, Mars asked around for more OCs to add, and rather than simply adding Bailey, like I had originally intended, who is my D&D OC, by the way, if you didn't already know that, I decided instead to turn this simple roleplay persona into an actual OC with a bit of lore. So right on, let's get on to the actual backstory. For reference, as this is my persona, I'm going to be using I rather than they, and I'll be narrating it as if I'm actually the priest telling the story, so just keep that in mind. I was around 6 years old. I honestly can't remember the exact age, only that it was a winter, not snowing, but you could feel it in the air that come a few days it would be. This most definitely was not ideal. It was my first winter on the streets. I'd run from my foster family the spring before. You know how it is. A poor, orphan child, cruel people exploiting them for free housework and the like. Nonetheless, I had to find some place I could stay. Small children don't survive long on the streets for a reason. The one thing I distinctly remember about this winter was being welcomed into a new family, a nicer one with warm foods and strange mannerisms, but kind and gentle voices. I had been huddled in my little alleyway when Priya spotted me. She asked if I wanted some food and maybe some hot chocolate, and maybe I should have said no, maybe I should have hidden under my blanket, but I am so glad I didn't. As I came to learn, Priya was the head priestess for a small community who worshipped the void deities, who had been dubbed Mars and Moon. After being formally included into this small, not a cult, guys, it is not a cult, I was taught how to welcome their voices into my mind, as well as how to shut them out. And as I grew up, I learned how to clean the altar, what sort of sacrifices were needed and when, and how to perform them properly. Of course, at times I made mistakes, such as when I was cleaning the floors in the temple and I accidentally sacrificed 38 sheep at once, without the proper ritual. Suffice to say, I never made that mistake again. The older I became, the more responsibilities I was given, until, on my 16th birthday, I became the assistant to the head priestess. That year, I assisted Priya with more responsibilities, and by becoming the assistant to the head priestess, I was also given the ability to channel some of Mars and Moon's powers. It was nothing too powerful. I could just make the rain fall a little harder and small things like that. However, as all good things do, it came to an end. Far too quickly for my liking. Not too long before my 17th birthday, Priya came down with an illness. We're still not sure from where or for why, but despite even the Void Deity's best efforts, she sadly succumbed, leaving me to take over as head priest. Yes, there were older and more mature members of our religion, but as the highest up member, Mars and Moon chose to bestow the gift of priest upon me. Somehow, things only got worse from there. 2 days before my birthday, 2 days before the official ceremony that would allow Mars and Moon to channel more power through me, 2 days before I would officially become the head priest, a rival void deity emerged and challenged both of our chaos creatures. Of course, in the past, there were minor skirmishes between other gods that existed in the void beside Mars and Moon, but never had one so blatantly gone after their following. This rival deity, the Red Queen, as she was dubbed, was jealous over Mars and Moon's dedicated followers and how many they had, so she came after us and channeled her rage into our minds directly. If it had been but 2 days later, after I had officially become the head priest, I might have been able to save them. I might have been able to use my powers to shield more minds than just my own. But as it stands, I couldn't. And I was the only one left, leaving me the only member of our once large and prosperous community. After Mars, Moon, and I had grieved, they both decided that rather than asking me to grow a new following once again, they thought it would be best if I used my newfound powers to help those who could not help themselves, and so I became the priest. As a vigilante figure, I was able to channel more of Mars and Moon's powers and help stop the petty crimes that the higher-ups decided weren't worth worrying about. I was always there, hiding in the shadows, waiting to be called upon, there just when you needed me. By becoming the head priest, Mars had bestowed upon me the gift over chaos. I could influence people's emotions, just subtly, but I learned to use this to my advantage. Say, for example, I needed people to be gone from a place. I could push the feeling of mild panic, triggering people to leave this dangerous area. Moon had gifted me a more powerful control over the weather, meaning that rather than just making pre-existing rain fall stronger, I could actually summon rains and storms, as well as banish them when the need arose. Over time, as I grew more popular with the civilians, the public began to wonder more about me. What my exact powers are still not widely known to the people, and most believe that the deities I speak of are not real, but rather figments of my imagination. Some believe I'm a mutant who hit their head one too many times. Some believe I'm simply a delusional child doing party tricks with nothing but luck on their side. One thing, however, that everyone in the general populace agrees on is that I use some form of illusion magic to conceal my identity. For whilst I wear no facial coverings, no one can recall what my face actually looks like. Yes, there are pictures and videos of me where my face is clearly shown, but it's somehow always out of focus despite the best cameras. And when people try to recall what the face shape actually looks like, you can only see it in the periphery of your mind. Something familiar, but you are unable to recall anything but the color of my blue eyes. Anyway, that's pretty much all the lore. A couple fun tidbits that I thought up when writing this was, as I can hear Mars and Moon in my mind, and despite my shield being so good after years of practice, occasionally I can still hear them entering into my mind, which is why I don't drive cars, because I got into one too many car crashes upon them abruptly having an argument inside my head. Another couple things is that as a vet, which is my civilian job, as a vet, I have access to equipment that I wouldn't otherwise, which helps me heal faster heal faster, but like, it gives me the ability to help heal myself after fights, if that makes sense. And no, what are you talking about? I definitely did not get the idea of being a vet from a certain fic that is really, really good, which you should all read because it's Midnight Strangers and it's amazing. No, what are you talking about? This is a completely original idea. Anyway, I hope everyone enjoyed this little rant of mine, and hopefully the script made it a bit easier to understand rather than me just rambling on. But I hope everyone has a great day, and thank you for watching, my lovelies. And come follow me on Twitch, as I stream there almost every weekend, and it's always a lot of fun with a couple of my friends joining to bother me and create chaos. And more often than not, scare me, because I'm a very scared person that gets petrified incredibly easily. And if you want to see more of my art, come follow me on Tumblr. I don't make videos of everything I draw, but I just couldn't resist the opportunity to rant about my OCs. Anyway, have a great day.